Hello! Video as promised. Really late, but here. So yeah, welcome to the blank white wall of my apartment where I will be sitting in front of until I can find a better place to shoot this, because, to be honest, there's really no better place to shoot this, but I'm gonna work on that. I'm back at school, as you probably all know from watching my little speed talking 30-second video that I shot while working the other day. And yeah, there are two things I just want to clear up. I don't ingest caffeine on a regular basis at all, ever. Try not to. I avoid it. Two, I don't really ingest that much processed or refined sugar on a regular basis either. So yeah, I just talk really fast, and I'm gonna slow it down. Promise. Housekeeping aside, it's book review day here for this lovely piece of fiction entitled Shadow of the Hegemon by Orson Scott Card. It's, so far, of the 3 Ender books I read, my favorite, and I want to talk about how good it is, because it is good, yes. But seriously, I'm going to try and do this without spoiling the previous book to this one, which is Ender's Shadow, which is sort of it's Ender's Game from Bean's perspective. That's all you need to know. So, following the end of Ender's Shadow, Shadow of the Hegemon takes the Battle School kids and puts them back on Earth, where they all have originally come from. It scatters them across the globe. Meanwhile, there's sort of like this little bit of peacetime. There's no real external threat outside of Earth, and all these kids are now back where they've come from, and this one particular nation decides to kidnap all of them, and things ensue from there. I can't say anything really without talking about the other book. This is really challenging. Main plot points aside, this is a book about smart children. All of these children are super geniusy, incredible, intelligent, awesomeness of human beings. But in particular with that, I want to talk about the writing of the children. You all know how much I love a good, smart, intelligent, witty child character. And this book is full of them, and they're always given sort of this not ruling per se, but, you know, higher elevation in society. They're respected just as much as adults are. And I find that really interesting because is there really a point to it? What's the point that Orson Scott Card is trying to make from that? What does that mean commentarily? Is that a word? Can I say that? Commentarily? What does that mean in terms of commentary on our society or the society of the setting? Because you'll notice in the dialogue that the children get, it's very adult language, it's very well vocabularized, and to me, I found that it would almost be poor dialogue if it was coming from an adult, but since it's coming from a child, do we seem to think that that makes it better? Does that make it great and excellent because it's coming from a child? I prefer to look at it not that way and think that it's just poor dialogue, but we all think it's better because kids are speaking it. That was something that threw me in this book. There's something I can say without spoiling. And you know, speaking of intelligent children, everybody is intelligent in this book, it seems like. Just all of them are super incredible. In the time that this is set, humans must have gotten at least 5 times more brilliant than we are currently, because it's ridiculous. Chapter 9 of this book was probably my favorite chapter of all 3 books that I have read. Yes, I've only read 3, but chapter 9 was my favorite. It's this dialogue between one of the children and an adult. I won't tell you who, because you should just go read it. This is one of those things where you're going to have to trust me. If you like science fiction and obviously intelligent characters, this is going to be an enjoyable book for you. The conversation in chapter 9, which spans the entire chapter, is so phenomenal. And it's back and forth dialogue, like almost immediate responses, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, normal people can't come up with a response that good and that accurate that quickly. people would have to think about it for a second. That's always jarred me about books, is how people come up with responses on the spot. But Orson Scott Card completely makes up for that little wavering technicality because the responses are just so intelligent. It floors me. The brilliant geniusness of all of these people. Not real words are being used because I don't have real words for this. And might I mention, there is some serious social commentary in terms of the military, in terms of religion in this book, and it is approached from a way that is definitely expandable throughout the rest of the series, because I was a little confused at the very end about what he was trying to say about everything, and it totally set it up for it to get explained in the next 2 books. I keep looking this way because the next 2 books are on the bookshelf to my left. You're right. But all in all, we're kind of seeing, as I continue to shoot this, that this was not really a great book to review, since I can't tell you that much about the plot, and I can only rave to you about the incredible / mediocre authoring and writing style and awesomeness that is this. It was a little tough to get into because I hadn't read the book that came before it for a long time before I picked this up, but once I got to chapter 9, it was just, I tore through it. Also because I had a few days here while I was putting my house together, and I didn't have a lot of things to do. Oh, and another thing, commentary thing, is the idea of petty human emotions. There is rationality on one end of the spectrum and human emotion on the other, and there is a lot of struggle between which one should fight to win out when making decisions and planning strategies. And it's so interesting to me because I don't really like psychology, but this, it's just, I'm so curious. What should you listen to? It's that whole rational-emotional dichotomy, and it's great. That is touched on a lot. So much social commentary. That is why this book is great. That is why you should read this book. If you are a fan of social commentary, you should read this series. Please do it, okay? Evidently, I've just kind of gone insane from being back at school, but we didn't really think that I could get any worse, but hey, here I am. So, you've just watched this. I appreciate it. That was my Psycho Babble on Orson Scott Card's Ender's Game. Look, books by my face again. What else is new? We're on Twitter and Goodreads, and that's it. And obviously YouTube, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this. But links and stuff are below. Hope you're having great days. See, I told you I'd get a video up, and here I am, and it is great, if nothing other than comedic value. So, have lovely days, have lovely lives. I miss you all terribly. Goodbye.